Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So I'm gonna open the door, and you're gonna just go blasting out like, "Welcome to Reconstructing the World," and you're gonna go blah blah blah, and you're gonna throw some hand moves. Are you ready for that? Or do you want to play it more seriously?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay, go.
I can't. My ego can't come through the door.
No,
Can you open it?
Try. I fucked up his intro. Welcome to Reconstructing the World. Hello, Anders.
Hello, Anders.
Most sustainable architect in the world.
Most
Annoying.
host in the world.
Most annoying person in the world.
You know what we have to talk about today?
I heard a rumor that today we are talking about something called Living Lab, though. But what is Living Lab? It's not this. It's this floor, and then what? 3 floors?
So one of the things that we would have loved to do, because when we do these projects, and we've showed you a lot of different materials. Some of them we invented ourselves. Some of the things that we could find out there that made sense to use, that are recycled, upcycled, and wood materials.
Yeah.
But in that process, of course, there are some materials that we just dream about using, but for some reason are not allowed to use. It can be because that they are, one, too expensive, or it's such a new product that the company hasn't really moved that far yet or ready to scale, or they are just not used to working with like big construction companies, and many other things can be the reason for that. So we thought.
Can I guess? This is a experiment. You are experimenting with things here. You're showing. It's a showcase of different.
Exactly. But what we did, not only is it kind of a small laboratory, you can say it's a donation from the client saying, okay, I'll give you 3 floors where the economy that we use to outfit the rest of the building is the same.
Okay.
And then if we could get some support, which we got from Realdania, a philanthropic fund, and they said, okay, we would like to help you to get like new material manufacturers in, and then we'll pay the difference on top. Okay. Because a lot of the products are a bit more expensive or a bit more complex or something that's not done before. So they helped us there.
So it's an experimental floor.
It's an experimental floor. And so it's both going to be
a club. You put in a swinger club.
No. Well, you can see a swinger of upcycled materials on 1 floor, a swinger floor of recycled materials on a 2nd floor, and a bio-swinger floor, which is maybe more you. No? Okay. But
you totally took the heat out of that one. No. So
I think it's really sexy.
Can I remember that an example of that is that you put in reused insulation, right?
That's one of the things. So on this floor where we are now, this is we call it the direct recycle floor. And which means that all the materials on this floor needs to be just taken out from somewhere and put in again. And here we have on the interior, like that's rock wool. There's on the interior in these buildings direct reuse of rock wool. And it's actually possible, as we said in another program, just to direct reuse mineral wool beds and put them in again. Another material.
I'm actually mind blown. I'm mind blown that you could take out old beds and reuse it. Because so many years we've just been seeing it being thrown out, and now you're telling me that all these years, like what, half, 70% could be reused.
I don't know how big a percentage, but I would say almost all of it. It depends on how contaminated it is with different types of material. Okay, so the next thing, we just talked about the floors on the other, floors, which is this parquet flooring. But this is different because here it had to be direct recycled, and this comes from Gellerup. And Gellerup is in Denmark. It's a ghetto. It's a ghetto it's not a ghetto anymore. It's being changed. But in this refurbishment, thousands and thousands of these floorings are just being thrown out. Now they're starting to be able to actually buy them and save them. So here you can see they are a bit more rough on the edges. So here you can see that it's actually been joined. It's a different color. They're more rough. There's even some over where did I see it here, where you see that it's been a water damage or something like that. What we could have done, just to say, this is getting a little bit nerdy, but normally this is for a carpenter that needs to put in floor. This is, you would call it a fucking nightmare.
That's the official. That's the official.
That's
wording.
official wording. A fucking nightmare.
So this is a fucking nightmare.
All the joints are then a problem. What we should have done, or what would have been done normally, is that you clean it up. So you cut it off and take all these off and redo them so that they're sharp.
Yeah.
So assembly is quick. But here we didn't want to do that much work with it because then it becomes a different, upcycled product. So here, yeah. They have to deal with this on site. So they're not going to be as tightly laid out when they're finished. But we can show that on a later time. But it's going to work fine. But that's the point. The aesthetics here changes. Are you okay?
No, I'm just trying to think.
I'm just not used to being allowed to talk for 10 seconds coherent without being cut off.
Because you were so passionate. I can actually feel your passion on this floor.
Yeah.
This is something you really burn. You know, this is you burn through. I can feel that you like.
So another thing.
Yeah.
What is this, Anders?
This is one of my actually non-favorite materials in the world. I know it's really well. It's called a trolltæg. And I think the reason why I don't like it is because I have ADHD, and I think I spent 10 to 15 years in this public school system looking at this shit while trying to concentrate in school.
Okay.
So just like sitting like this, going, fuck my life.
Yeah. But
that's how I feel about this material.
Okay. It's also a good story, but it's not. It's brown Morocco. It's you can buy it at Realdania, Pusher Street.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're right. I'm sorry, and it was actually a good story, and I'm really sad.
No,
but
it was not good though.
You're trying to find the end of the lines, like where did it start? Where did it start?
I was just sitting there being depressed.
But you're right. And this was a material that I, for a long time, did not like, mostly because it's cement based.
Yeah.
So you take some wood waste, could be it's new wood, most of these products, and then you mix it with cement.
Yeah.
So you have a composite product. What do we feel about composite products?
We hate it.
Yes. So that's why we don't like this too much. They are doing all they can to make it more sustainable. But what would be the most sustainable?
Not doing it.
Or direct reusing the sheets that are taken out of different buildings.
And are they doing that now?
This is from another building, from another mother. So even though they look so nice, I think it's been in an institution.
They've been in my old school. I've been looking at this.
It's yours, they're following you. So that's why you feel a little bit depressed.
No, I actually think it's cool.
It's really nice, right? So they've just been screwed down, screwed up again.
Yeah.
In here, this is the bathrooms, and what is really cool that we're going to see in here. This is the toilet. So
that's the toilet.
It's
that's the toilet.
So you have to be able to squat and hit it.
This is what we call a precision toilet.
And that's the most sustainable, not having the ceramics at all. And it's the first time in the world that we're allowed to do just a hole in the floor.
Can I do the architect smooching on this one?
Yeah, you do it.
So you're here, right?
I'm here.
So what we did here was we looked back in time, we looked through all humanity, saying we need to go back in time, seeing how did we defecate, how did we dispose of our bodily fluids. We always did that through a hole in the ground. So we have introduced a hole in the ground. This is a brand new, revolutionizing sanitation issue where we are introducing the hole in the ground. It will also do a lot on your calf, a lot on your hamstrings. So you'll go here, and you precision. You need to be very precise, extremely precise.
So you don't have to go all the way down.
Did I sell it?
You sold it so good, but I just really have one question.
Yeah.
Is the size of the tube, does that fit everyone? It's a unisex?
No, what I do is I just zip up and then I put my...
So in here, we're going to direct recycle as much as possible. So here, it's going to have tiles everywhere. So it's direct recycled tiles that comes from another building. And also the toilets, which is something, and it's really odd, but it's very important for me because toilets, sinks, all these fixtures, we throw out all the time, and they're actually okay. So we wanted to show for a new office building that we can take an old toilet in. So in this building, on this floor, we're going to have old toilets that are absolutely cleaned and fine and working, hopefully.
From where?
Let's see.
Do you know the origin of the toilet?
I don't know the origin. It's going
like
to be random toilets.
An old man outside this town.
But the interesting part is, I think it's Ifo. One of the, or Gustav Berg, I can't remember, I'm sorry. But one of the toilet manufacturers, they started
that's the brand Gustav Berg. It's not a guy called Gustav Berg.
No, it's not him.
It's not his
toilet. It's a toilet. But they're now starting to retrofit the toilets with the new interior and clean them so we can sell them again instead of creating new ceramics. See, things have worked.
Anders, look, my old friend.
Where's your... the beam. And see, and that's the
beam in front of the window. We're back.
That's your seat in here. And see, even the detailing has to go around it also, right? So that's...
There's so many problems.
Yeah. That's...
I promise I won't get stuck. Okay? I won't ever get stuck in here.
It would have been much worse if you got stuck in the toilet in there, where there's no toilet.
I'm not sure, but I actually think I can fit my head in here without being stuck. No, I can't. Anders is fast pacing. He's running up the stairs. Here, look at the beam in front of the window here, Anders. It's really beautiful. This is cool.
It's a cool beam.
This is a cool beam in front of a window. This is my favorite beam in front of the window. Why is it called Vejle? Why is the radiator called Vejle? It obviously is not. This is not Vejle. This is Aarhus.
Maybe it's because it should have been delivered in Vejle, but they made a mistake. It could have been a recycled radiator, and it's actually something. It's not. Just to say, it's not. But it's something I find really interesting. Yeah. We have projects now where we are recycling radiators. And just using them because the installation is actually something the engineers can calculate. So if you're an engineer, I mean, accept that maybe the sizes and also for the architects designing with it, that it would have been fine that it would have been a little bit higher here and different geometries and maybe playing with that fact that, radiators doesn't have to fit on the millimeter. Here, we didn't do it, and I apologize, but it is a huge potential that you could have done that.
My co-host disappeared. Maybe it was because of the beam thing. He's a little sensitive there.
It's called Viking Rumpegulve. Okay.
Yeah! They are super beautiful. Look over here. You can see them here. Yeah. And these are all offcuts, right?
These are also all. This is offcuts in all kind of different materials, or not in different materials. This is all. I think this is actually.
Oh shit! That is so cool.
It's really nice. The economy. These are way more expensive than the other ones, I have to say.
The one from Gellerup.
Yeah, and also the again floors. These are way more expensive, and they're more difficult to put in. But they're also, I must say, just a notch up in beauty.
Extremely. This is
so they're very aesthetic.
So check these guys out. They're doing this shit. This is really.
Really nice.
If I had a house, I would put this in.
I would put it everywhere. So let's talk about another thing that's in here, which is in a different category, but also an upcycling product that you can just buy. And we were in doubt if we wanted to use this, but this is actually paper flock.
Oh shit!
So this is acoustic sealing. It comes and it's quite cool way of putting it up. So you have yes. So they just. Do you have to make that sound every time?
That's how it sounds when you put it up.
They spray it up. They spray it up, and then you can choose two things. That you just leave it like this, so it's looks like flocky. It's like your favorite jersey sweater, your vest.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyways, you can put it up here, or you can kind of stamp it so it gets more flat. The point here is that it's waste paper that becomes acoustic material that's shredded, and then there is a binder a kind of a bioorganic glue. I think it is. If it's not bioorganic, it's something different. And then it's sprayed up and comes like this. So it's a quite easy, and it's also it should be very cheap. In one project we used it, it was very cheap. They're saying here that it's not as cheap as the other acoustic ceiling.
Okay, I need to, do you remember this sound?
Yeah.
This is the sound of an architect who didn't put in a parking cellar at this very sustainable building to save CO2. And I love you for that. You're the most sustainable architect in the world.
Yeah.
I also want to say, it's really annoying that I have to go now down and reset my parking because it's a limited parking space. But it's a sound of no CO2 parking.
But it's also the sound for me of freedom, because then I can continue and then we can really crank up the speed of this program.
Yeah.
Right?
Do that.
This episode.
I'll go reset the car.
See you.
Can you invent like a parkometer?
I didn't really know. See you, Anders. I didn't know that, I mean, it's important not to have a basement for parking, but I didn't know that I would be that lucky. Like, I have to write saving CO2, people are not using cars, and your co-host has to go every program. It's really intelligent work. So it's also sustainable. Come with me. Are you coming or what? Yeah? Cinematographer, now you're mine. So what I want to focus on now is detailing. So cinematographer, come here. We have to film like really close. We have to look at joints. Closer. You have to be, yeah. Am I too? That's not how you do it normally? I'm the instructor now. I own you, right? I own everything about you. Yes. I own the camera now. I own everything, also your kids. Film here, down here, come. So when you look at these joints like this, that creates the beauty, these structures. And everything in architecture is about joining the right way and disassembling. So most of these things, also building components. And if you look under here, you find a screw, you don't need that. But you see here that it's actually standing on some steel. And again, joining, building together. And one thing that we're going to do in the next building is to get rid of this steel. We don't want steel in a building. But the joints here makes it possible to disassemble the building, which is such an important thing. So even though when we talked about LCA on the building, a building is calculated like this wood is going to be incinerated, burned in 50 years. But we put in a joinery so we can take the building apart, and these things are going to be reused if this building ever is going to be disassembled or taken down. It's just to say, the joint is very important.
So I just came back from the non-existing parking cellar to save CO2, which is great. I love you, most sustainable architect in the world. But I've been teasing you quite a lot about the beams in front of windows.
Yeah.
And now I made an observation where I actually like, okay, now I get it. This is cool. Look at this. Actually, now I see the beam going through the building in front of the windows. And look at this. Actually outside, it looks amazing.
Yes! You got it!
And this was no bullshit, no smooching. I eyed it and I said, now I fucking get it. I still feel it's a death trap, but
it feels really good. It feels even better when you almost got killed in a beam. Yeah. That you after a while like see it. Why it's important to have that danger in a building.
You can think a little about that dilemma. I don't know what this floor is called, but you can immediately feel this totally different vibe in here. Yeah. And the reason why I know it is because I've been working a lot with clay, clay padding, clay interior, and the feeling, the air is super different.
Yeah.
And I guess this is clay cladding, and it's like, it's fucking great.
It's
also
such a different floor. maybe you are changing. Then we are changing the roles maybe today on this or on this floor a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think you're so right. You can and architecture is most of the time the senses of like the eyes and also the ears for sound, and then a lot of different feelings about space and understanding on geometries and so on. But whenever it changes to being bioorganic material, smell has a positive effect, which is super interesting, where chemistry, volatile organic compounds is such a big part of building materials, and all of a sudden it changes.
Is this?
It's clay boards.
Yeah.
So it's clay boards that are 15 millimeters, and then there is wood insulation inside it, wood chip insulation, and wood studs. So this is all organic walls, and it has a totally different beauty to it, and also a different feel. I mean, the surfaces.
But what did you put isolation in the wall? What is it? Is it only the clay board, and is it also insulation?
It's wood insulation inside.
What is this? This is Seoul.
It's Seoul.
Shit! This is Seoul.
It's seaweed.
I fucking love this floor.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
If you stand in here, you can smell. There's a different smell. Because this used to be seaweed, right? It's called eelgrass. It's called eelgrass in Danish.
Yeah.
And so this company Seoul is collecting all this, all the dead eelgrass, and then they're drying it out, they're cleansing it out, and then they're compressing it into batch. Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. There's one thing that I don't like too much, actually, in smells when we're talking about that in organic materials. Often you use linen oil in a lot of these products. Yeah. And some people love that. Yeah. I really don't like it. I don't like that smell. No.
But this is my favorite fucking spot in the building. Yes. I love working with this.
You can see here, look here.
Yeah.
So look at this. This is a So when you drill a hole in this wall, what comes out?
Wood. Why don't everybody build like this?
I don't know. I can explain you why in a minute.
No, I know why.
Most of the wood is waste wood, but just to be honest, I don't know if the studs in here is waste wood. They should be, but I don't know.
But you can really feel the smell.
There was one more thing. I am just looking.
Dead end.
Dead end. You can't
like
go
to Earth. Dead end. If we don't reverse the world.
The walk of victory. Don't let me hang. Thank you. And even the paint here that you can't see is any different than in other floor. Yeah.
This white paint.
Yeah, the white paint. It's out. Yeah. Oh, you know that. You're so into it.
I fucking know my bio. What is it called? Organic materials.
So it's natural paint. And I've been working with natural paint in a lot of projects. Yeah. And it's funny that all the painters, they always say, it doesn't cover enough, it's too watery and so on. And then they start working with it. And then they love it. Yeah. And it's and they can feel that they also feel better themselves.
Yeah, healthier.
So it's healthier. So these walls are all hempcrete. Yeah. So we tested those out as well. It's difficult to see that it actually is hempcrete also down here. But you can't see, but I wanted to show you that it was hempcrete. Yeah. And hempcrete is made out of hemp, but it's also made out of lime. Yeah. And the big discussion here is how much CO2 impact is there when you use lime? Yeah. Because you have to, use a lot of energy to create lime.
Yeah, but still, when you're working with lime, isn't there a difference between cement and lime? You don't need the same degrees of burning it.
Not as high, but you are also using it. But when you calculate the life cycle assessment, kind of before in use, like the first stages in manufacturing, it's actually carbon positive. Yeah. Because the hemp is sequestering so much CO2, it's growing 4 times as quickly as most other organic materials. So it's really positive there. But then there is the lime, and that's the question about when you have to take this down, what do you do with it? Yeah. And some say that you can crush it and actually use it for what do you call it? Fertilizer. Yeah.
Yeah. Very Russian.
But
very Russian.
But it's a little bit difficult when you have paint on it. But I think my point here is that we're looking into that.
Yeah.
The data in Denmark is not there yet, and in Europe it's not like totally aligned. And it's such an important material because you can use it instead of mineral wool, instead of concrete, other materials that are heavy on energy because it's fire retardant. It handles fire.
Okay, so thank you for watching all the way to the end on this bio floor. It's my favorite floor. See you next time on Reconstructing the World.